everyone, I'm Ishani and I warmly welcome you to my channel. This video is for all of you who love creating scenes but sometimes find them a little intimidating. If you've ever wondered how to place your colors so that your entire card looks cohesive, then today's project is just for you. I regularly share creative ways to get more out of your crafting supplies along with fun techniques and fresh ideas. So do check out my previous videos, and if you enjoy this kind of content, I'd love you to subscribe so you don't miss anything in future. Now today I have this absolutely beautiful Altenew Craft Your Life kit to share with you. I'm sure many of you already seen this, and I'm sure it has become one of the best-selling Craft Your Life kits. If you enjoy die cutting and building beautiful scenes, you're definitely going to want to check this beauty. Let's quickly have a look. First, we have these beautiful fish and this turtle in the layering die set. Gorgeous. I mean, look at those clownfish. I'm not using it for this project, but amazing. And then we have the Coral Reef Wonder embossing folder. And this is so pretty, and just without any colors also, it's gorgeous. But we have layering stencils to color all of them. You can build up your reefs, and then there are other two stencils that create this splash of waves and like some seaweeds waving in the under the ocean. I mean, you can create different scenes with these beautiful layering stencils. Then we have this amazing stamp set. Now I love solid stamps, and I have a great idea to play this with. I'm not going to do it in this video, maybe next video, or maybe my class. I also take Altenew classes, so check out my blog to learn more about that. But I love the sentiments on this set, and I love the mama whale and the baby whale and the whale done, the sentiment, the stingrays, the scuba diver, amazing. And look at the school of fish. Oh, I love it. I already made a card with it, with just the whale and a school of fish, which is like underneath the card base. But the possibilities are endless. Now let's go ahead and see what I made for you and how you can think of color next time that you sit stenciling and adding your fish and creating a scene. In any scene, these principles or like these tips will work. Now let's quickly have a look at the layering dies. The guide for layering all these little pieces is there, and when you open it, you have a beautiful sheet on which you have all these fish written as per their family. Like the yellow tang has all the body together, the Moorish idol is together. So it's so easy to layer them together. You just have to cut them by the cardstock, or maybe do some ink blending on your cardstock and then adhere them together to create beautiful fish. Oh my god, I love these. They also have given you, if you want to cut it with vellum, with white colored cardstock, with black colored. How easy can you make cutting dies and layering them? I mean, Altenew, thank you so much for this. So I'm just going to create this Moorish idol for you, and I am not going to reinvent the wheel. Altenew's already done it for me. I'm just going to grab these colors and create the fish. I just want to show you how easy it is. So I already have a white colored cardstock that I've cut down my fish with, and I'm going to get my limestone ink, and I am just going to do as the guide says, add my limestone underneath in the belly region, and then add fresh lemon on the upper side of my fish. And I have all the little black die cuts ready to assemble. I just apply glue and adhere them. Just cut and paste and copy from the layering guides. Cut, copy, paste. And it's so cute. Look at that fish coming into form. Amazing. So you just have no guesswork, no coloring issues. Just cut, copy, cut and paste, and you get your Moorish idol. I add this cute little vellum fin and it's done. And likewise, just by following the layering guides, I've created all the cute fish. And though I may not be using all of them, but I wanted to have some fun time creating this fish. Or okay, maybe these are creating these fishes, because these are different families, right? I mean, I'm not good at English, so maybe grammatically I'm not right. But let's go ahead and create something with some of the fish that I've created. So we will do our dry embossing first, for which I've taken the embossing folder from the Coral Reef Wonders set. And I have a 300 GSM cold press watercolor cardstock. Now I want to create a scene which is underwater, and why not use watercolor paper, water everywhere. And for that, I am also going to use blue ink. I am taking Sea Breeze, which will be underwater. And you can take a blending brush and apply your ink on your folder. You can go ahead and straight just swipe your ink pad also over your embossing folder. I do love to swipe my ink, dye ink cubes and it gives a great texture. But for this scene, I want soft blue and I do not want it to overpower my scene. The blue should just be there, like the water is just there. My hero is going to be the coral reef and the fish. So for that, I swipe my ink and then I get a blending brush and I am going to soften my strokes of ink which have come due to swiping the ink. So I just blend out the ink on my folder itself. So this is the side of the embossing folder which has the name written on it. So which is going to be the front of your embossing folder. Now I'm going to spritz some water on my watercolor cardstock, just moisten it a bit and also spritz just a spray of water. Do not wet the ink on your folder. It just will make your ink little easy to spread because we already have a wet paper. It will give better results. But it is water, it can be splotchy, it can be streaky, it can be anything. Do not make it harder for yourself. Whatever you get, just enjoy that effect. So I go ahead and I dry emboss my scene and look at this beautiful. I love this. This is just what I wanted. Little blue, not much streaky, but yes, a little bit of texture here and there. And wherever I feel there is color which has not reached the grooves and crannies of just behind my coral reefs, I get a wet brush and move the ink while it is still wet. And because it is dyeing, it's almost like watercolors. You can keep moving it with a little bit of water, and that's what I'm doing here. And I am now happy with my background. Also, few things. Yes, I use the smoother side of my watercolor cardstock for this. And also you can swap your watercolor and use a normal cardstock. I wanted I was planning to probably go a little heavy on water. That is what I was thinking of. But I think this is what is good enough. You can do it with ink blending. You have to just create a background and then you can do it with anything. I was just not in moods to do any workout and create some biceps. I was like, okay, today is my leg day. I don't want to do the arms. And that's why I did not choose to do ink blending. Okay, so let's talk about how do you plan what colors to put where. So before that, you need to plan which fish are you going to use. So there are too many fish, and too many fish will spoil my aquarium. So I'll just choose to do to keep yellow tang and the Moorish idol for my aquarium, and my aquarium has beautiful coral reef. Now what I want to decide is, now that I have these two fish, the coral which will be just behind it has to be of a color which is not the color of the fish. So you just think of that, and any of the scenes whenever you make, just make sure either you have a contrasting complementary color or you at least do not have the same color of subject and the background. So with this knowledge, when you will use your colors, just make sure where you want to have your main subject, think about what is going to be behind it, and the background should not be of the same color. And now we'll just go ahead and stencil our coral reef. There is a guide in the layering guides. You can also refer to that and take advantage of it and make your scenes. I am going to start with coloring the coral, which is just going to be behind my yellow tang. And I'm going to add a little bit of corals. So these are layering stencils. So, the families of Altenews are perfect. I'm starting with my frosty pink, and we can just take a family of inks, the dye inks, and use the lightest of the colors, and then go ahead as we change the stencil layers. We can change the color of our color that we choose to stencil. So for my first layer, it is going to be one of the lightest of the colors of the different families. But I will also take a little darker color, like for frosty pink, I've taken coral berry and I'm adding just a bit of it at the bottom of my corals. Next, when I choose to color, I want to also think about if I have a yellow tang on one of the sides, I need to also create a visual triangle of yellows. So if I have a yellow of the Moorish idol has a bit of yellow, yellow tang has a bit of yellow, and so the corals on my right bottom should also have a bit of yellow. So I'll go with it, but first I'm coloring these leafy corals with a sweet leaf. And how can I not bring pink? So I get my pink diamond, and now it is just going to be the same thing. Not all your colors will have a visual triangle, but color families, the corals and the pinks that I have will also create a visual interest, will have a bit of visual triangle, and so I'm going to try to do that. Next, I have taken the yellows from Pocketful of Sunshine and I'm adding on to the corals at the bottom right. Now, because if I keep showing you every color that I do, it's going to take a long time, but I'm sure you got the essence of how we are going to color our corals. I also recommend using some paper or tape to protect the other side of your stencils, because you don't want to pollute your corals. Don't pollute the sea and don't pollute the corals with colors. So I also have to press in my stencil a little bit to get the color onto the edges of my coral. Because the corals are a bit 3D now, because they are embossed, the raised edges will not get color until and unless you make sure that it gets color. So you have to press your stencil a bit to get the color onto the edges of the raised surface of the paper. I keep going and stenciling, getting new stencils, and for this coral, which will be exactly behind my yellow tang, I want to get exact complementary color. So I am bringing my shades of purple family, and with lavender fields I go with my first layer, and then similarly what we did with yellow earlier, I'm again going to bring in the purples in a bit of triangles, so I have this visual cohesion. And so I choose these 3 places where I want the purples to do the magic. Then it is just about getting more details with the next layer of stencil. It is just the darker inks of all the families that we've already used, and make our corals stand out more, make it more dimensional, and give it a 3D look. And if playing with colors is something you enjoy, I'd love to invite you to my live workshop on 18th July. As you may know that I'm an Altenew educator, and I take live Zoom workshops once or twice a month on Saturdays at 11 Eastern Time. And I would love you to join me, and where we'll create this time fun tropical cards while exploring color combinations and learning lots of creative ways to get more from the supplies we already own. Check out the description of this video or the pinned comment to go to my blog and see the upcoming workshops. I would love to see you there. So after coloring all my corals, deepening their different layers, I am very happy with my background. And what I do is I take a top folding A2 cardstock in white and do a purple matting to match my corals. And now that it's time to add our fish, what I've done is I have cut from a black cardstock the first layer of my fish, which will actually now be adhered behind the fish to create a little shadow. So both my fish will have this piece which is in black cardstock going at the end. This will create a visual interest, and when we add on to our scene, it will create a foreshadow, which will make it pop up a little more on our colorful background. For the sentiment, I have "Hope your day is as bright as coral reef." It is stamped with embossing ink and heat embossed with white embossing powder that I adhere at the bottom of my card. And then I add a little glue to add my fish just where we had decided earlier. You can also foam mount your fish, but I already have that shadow which gives it a really great interest on the card. So I will just put a little glue and adhere them. And to finish off my card, I'm adding some crystal clear enamel dots just in front of the mouth of one of my fish and some here and there around the scene. And I'm very happy with my card. I hope you enjoyed watching this coral reef card with me and picked up some ideas on how thoughtful color placements can make your scenes feel more cohesive. The next time you pull out your Craft Your Life kit, I hope you'll experiment with your colors and make it your own. If you'd like to keep learning and crafting with me, I'd love to see you in one of my live workshops. And don't forget to explore the playlists on my YouTube channel, where you'll find lots more inspiration, techniques, and creative ways to get the most from your crafting supplies. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and click the notification bell so you never miss a new tutorial. Thank you so much for spending time with me. Happy crafting. Bye-bye. I'll see you in the next video.